Hello, welcome. Hey guys, streaming finally. My music is too loud on my ears. Give me a second. All right, this should be better. Yeah, I can hear myself. Great. All right, guys. Well, hope you're having a good day so far. It's hump day. And also we just passed the half of July. So it's a double hump day. The year is going by too fast. I want to officially state that. I hope you are all having a great summer. If you're living in the northern hemisphere, that is. So, I have been working on a playing card deck. And I don't really know why, but I didn't stream anything of the process. Even though it's kind of a perfect project to stream and to live demonstrate. And that thought came to me yesterday, and I thought, hey, come on, let's do another stream after a while. So if you do not follow me on social media, shame on you. But no, if you follow me, there's a high chance that you do not see my post because of how algorithms work at the moment. So if you do not, or if you did not know, I am making a custom playing card deck called Suits of Life, and I already made almost all the hard cards. So this is the designs for the hearts. I decided to separate the suits into seasons. So the first season is hearts, and I called the season Magical Love. And I focused with, I mean, it's quite obvious with the heart being the symbol, right? But I decided to focus everything on love and relationships with a certain dark twist. I think that describes it quite well. And I am only missing the ace right now. So I have all the hearts done from 2 to I mean, there's this the 7 and the 10 are not yet finished, but I'm missing the concept for the ace. So, and that's what I want to do today together with you, because I thought we could just have a very relaxed stream, so there's no pressure and no deadlines or anything involved today. It's just scribbling down a couple ideas and showing you a bit of my process and have a nice hangout. Oh, I somehow can't see the chat here. Ah, there it is. Nice. So, Steve, Dominic, hi guys, nice to see you. Finchy as well, glad you're with me today. Black Tomcat, thanks very much, hello. Doing my best. Oh, 10 a.m. in Argentina, so it's a nice morning session for you. Yeah, here it's almost 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, so with playing card decks, this is not my first playing card deck. I made one before, a complete one, around, I think, probably around 10 years ago. So it's been really long, and my style has developed a lot since then. I just realized it would be cool to have one of the old decks here so I could show you to the camera, but unfortunately there's a couple of leftover prints in the basement. That deck is, yeah, I think it aged okay-ish, so it's not really my style anymore, but I think it's okay, given the fact that it's really old. And I always wanted to do a new playing card project because with playing cards, the cool thing is that you have these, even though the size of the cards is quite small, you have, in my opinion, an extreme wide range of possibilities what you can do. And at the same time, you can very much define your workload. So you can go for simple designs and only illustrate the character cards. There's a name for them, but I'm not remembering that right now. So you can only, of course, illustrate the jack, queen, king, and maybe the ace. Or you're like you're going full apeshit like me, and you go for the complete deck. And as you see here, for example, this is the 2 of hearts, which is already, don't mind the king index in the corner. That's just a placeholder. But as you see here, these are very detailed. Even though these are quite quick to make for me, so they don't take extreme much amounts of time to make. But yeah, it's not like something like this here, for example, where you have really just the symbols and that's it. It's a bit more work. And for the characters, I went really into detail. As you see, it's always like a little storytelling involved, because if you twist it, you have the same scene. Music is off. Give me a second. You have the same scene mirrored, so but there's like differences. So you have the character here, the person, the queen character mirrored like this, and she's like sitting there, and the story here is, there's room for interpretation, but I think this one is pretty clear because we have a person who got a love letter, maybe. So you see the love letter in her hands, and there's like this paper, and there's the pen and the fountain pens and the rose, and probably she's gotten a love letter from her partner, and it probably turns out it's maybe a breakup letter or so, and she's there depressed and devastated about what was in there. That's what I meant before with the little dark twist. I have this is the king, for example, and he's a guy like, he has like a table prepared and lots of food for his love to maybe come over and have a nice candlelight dinner. And then on the other side, he's he sat there at the table for a very long time, and no one joined him, and the food is rotten, and yeah, there's like little small details like the grapes being rotten here, and the apple, and here the heart, like little heart candy is broken, and there's someone has like bitten off a piece. So that's the concept, and every card is a little bit like this. Of course, the number cards are way less complicated on the storytelling. For example, here's just like a rose, and you see the heart symbols are the leaves or the petals from the rose. Yeah, and now the question is what to do. Oh, and there here above my head here, you see the finished versions where I put the designs on the card and also animated them. That's another story. We don't go into the animation stuff today, but that's how I present them when I have them done. And they're also available as digital collectibles on my Drip account. And eventually I want to turn them into printed deck as well after a while. Hey Olga, thanks, glad you like the project. Yeah, it's lots of fun to work on this. It's really rewarding because you have like a result every couple of days when you, it's a side project, so it's nothing I do as a commission or so. I just do it whenever I have time and feel like drawing something. Of course, I hope to monetize it on the go. Of course, on my Drip profile right now, it's being monetized, but also later on by selling the printed decks. But yeah, it's just right now it's just really a fun side project. Steve, I'm going to show you how I designed the composition. Actually, that's what I want to do today. So I'm not going to just talk about the project, because we will dive into the process right away in 5 minutes. And there's some tricks involved that help me create the mirrored composition, because that's a bit tricky. But there's like the symmetry function in Procreate helps a lot with that. Yummy Crocodile, hello. How's it going? Dominic, yeah, there will be Joker cards, two Jokers. I don't have any ideas for them yet. Maybe, I don't know. So the thing is, this is the first season, right? Magical Love. And by a nice car here, by the way. I needed that for reference. So oops, that was the wrong window. So my idea is that each season has a specific topic. And I wrote down some topics here in my sketchbook that I wanted to explore probably. So right now my idea is to have the Magic Love for the hearts. Then for the clubs, I want to do something probably gaming related. So it's not the hearts and love is quite obvious, because the heart is the symbol of love. But the rest of the icons or symbols are kind of random. So I want to have something like gaming, tech, maybe tech related. I think that's probably the clubs. I also want to do food, because I realized that I love drawing food, because there's some food stuff involved with the hearts cards, as you saw, the grapes and the apple, and those pralines, is that a word? Like the candy stuff, the chocolate candy. So I want to do some food. Maybe the topic there is tasty delights or something. And then we have the spades, and that's where I'm not really sure yet. So I had the idea, like if I want to go a little bit darker again, maybe work, or like work life, with a little weird twist. I don't know yet. But could also be like something in the direction of outdoors, nature. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe like, I mean, the outdoors and nature direction is more like a little bit more easy, a bit softer, and the other one is maybe more edgy. It really depends on what I want to have as the whole vibe of the deck in the end. But the Jokers, yeah, I think the Jokers come at last and come when I really know what the other stuff looks like, I guess. Alrighty, so as for the process, yeah, the ace. So I think some say that the ace is probably the most important part, or the most important card in a deck. And I think something that I have in lots of cards here, and that I want to maybe have a reference to in the ace card, is these the rose flower, and these kind of old school artifacts, these old school items, like the keys and the cups here, like these here, for example. It's all like a little bit of this is the magical part, like it's a little bit of medieval fantasy, kind of slightly, but not like too heavily, because as you see, like the characters are looking relatively modern. So I think these aspects could be nice. And I'm also thinking about like this kind of direction with the branches and the leaves of the rose or something. Could be interesting. So this is the isometric standard isometric grid, by the way, because in case you didn't notice, the cards are all isometric. It's not like heavily isometric stuff, so I don't have really like lots of elements that are very straight, boxy like this. So maybe don't even see it, at least on some cards. But yeah, it's all based on the isometric grid. So I think the first thing to do is maybe make a big heart in the middle, because that's kind of the ace card is also the card for number 1, I think. I'm not an expert, but I think in some games the aces has the value of 1. And I think there's like no way around a heart in the middle. And then the question is, what do I want to have surrounding it? So one idea I have is maybe showing the three characters, the king, the queen, and the jack in there. So that's one idea I had. Maybe they could sit on this big heart. One sits here. This is a bit difficult with a mirror idea, maybe, but yeah, I like the idea of having them in there. Maybe one could stand like a little bit on the side, maybe with a hand on a phone. And I just have the idea like what could be like a little hint. A concept I really find, I don't know if I can say interesting, but even fascinating, but kind of modern life with everyone having their phones in their hands and dating online, while there's still bars and clubs you can get to know people. So I'm just thinking if they should all have like a phone in their hand and there's actually like 3 people looking for love, but they do not communicate, even though they're maybe in the same room or so. That's just a thought I had that would be interesting to go after, probably. So what's that? My pen doesn't work anymore. Well, of course, in the middle of the stream, my Apple Pencil breaks down. 93%. Maybe it's the app. Yeah, it was the app. Okay. So, king, queen, and jack in the scene. Holding phones. Sorry for my handwriting. It's very bad. And I think I think this could be like a solid object, and maybe it could have some little bit of like a hint to the same visuality that maybe the keys have here. Those like slightly ornamental, nothing really too fancy, nothing too with like too extreme amounts of details, but I think that would be kind of interesting. Maybe it could have some ornament here on the like little something on the side. It doesn't really work with the mirror effect, but I think most ace cards do not work with this mirror concept, because obviously you have only like usually you only have one element in there, which is the heart, the big heart. So I think I'm not sure if I want to keep the concept here, but if I decide to add, so I'm thinking if I should add some branches Some rose branches. Maybe not like a full rose flower. Something like that, and that could work very well with mirroring it, of course. So like this. This is a bit weird layout. I also have to find an end for the branch here. Steve, related to football, do you mean the real football, right? Not American football. I think actually not. No. I recently had a job offer from a firm that is related to football. So we'll see. Maybe I can do something footballish soon. But no, not so far. It's I think it's not really my main, like sports isn't really my main subject at all. So because of the dynamic of sports, etc., I think it doesn't really fit to my style. But of course, I personally love football, so I would be intrigued by doing something related to it. Hey Albert. Oh, I'm glad you liked the book. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, please share with me if you have something that is probably inspired by the book. Definitely share it, because I'd love to see what you guys are making and what tips you're taking away from my advice. Hey Sophie, how's it going? Yeah, sure. As always, it's going to be recorded, so you can just rewatch it later, no problem. Yeah, I have a video. I have a live stream on my YouTube. Let me quickly find it. I'm going to write a Patreon tutorial soon about this, because there's lots of people asking about this effect. So I am going to do a written tutorial, but there's also a live stream where I show this. That is maybe the better way to follow the whole process. It's a bit older. Where is it? Ah, here we go. So it's a bit older, and I think it could be updated a little because it's 50 minutes, and I think the process could be explained better. But back then I did the live stream and just explained it, so it was rather spontaneous. But here's the video. You can watch it. But yeah, written tutorial is coming maybe early next week or so. It's not really hard to do, but you have to know a bit of After Effects, like a couple of tricks in After Effects. So I'm not sure about these branches here. I think they are breaking up the whole composition a little. But I'm thinking if I add some flower petals and not the whole branch, could work better. So let's say we have 3 persons here. I think if we add something like that is like a little bit loosely distributed about over the canvas, I think that could work better. Yeah, the parallax thing and the whole card designs. There's the example in the stream right now again. It's funny because I think so many people have asked me about this and want to know how you can set this up. It's really not that complicated, but everyone thinks that it's Blender or any kind of complicated 3D software, while in the end it's really just the 3D function in After Effects, which isn't really 3D because it's it's just a fake. So yeah, you can learn it quite well. Yeah, I'm not sure about the composition here. I think it's a bit harder to find the right way, because the heart in the middle is quite large, but I think it should be large, so I don't want to change anything there. But it's a little different to the other cards, and I have to wrap my head around that. Oh, the music is turning into some auto scooter vibe. Alrighty. Yeah, so also thinking if something like that would work. So to frame it a little bit better, because I think it's important to have a good frame for the whole scene. Wait, no, that was fine. This could be mirrored quite well. Yeah, I think this is, if the card isn't going to be too full in the end, I think this is maybe a way. Then we have one guy here. One here and maybe one here. Just like above, actually. Yeah, I am doing it in After Effects. Yeah, that's quite expensive indeed. I'm just thinking if there are certainly some other apps. Maybe someone in the audience here knows something actually, but so I know there's a web-based animation app that maybe has these functions, but I doubt that you could do the same effect. Maybe a similar one. I think very maybe even very similar, yes. But it's I think probably DaVinci or so, but it's all expensive. Blue Sky, yeah, I'm going to do an online course. I have one planned. It's supposed to be like a general beginner course as an introduction to my art, so my whole process, and it's supposed to be the most comprehensive collection of tutorials and how-tos that I've ever done. But I have to do it at some point. So I don't have the time right now, or I didn't have the time in the last months, and It's gonna be a tough one, to be honest, because I want to record at least a couple hours of tutorials, and it's really, yeah, it's definitely a time issue for me. But yeah, I have something in the pipeline, so that's the good news. Let's say positive, and let's keep it constructive. There is something coming, but I'm not sure when. So yeah, Domestika is definitely an option as well, but Domestika doesn't really pay very well for the teachers. And I looked into how much you can make there, and to be honest, that's not worth my time. At least from what I heard of some friends who have courses there. Skillshare could be an option maybe, but yeah, it's something is coming. If you have any requests for specific topics you'd like to have covered in the courses, let me know, of course. Because I'm still like in the concept and planning phase, so I'm right now writing down the content, and even that takes me quite a lot of time at the moment, or I'm not able to spend the time on that. So, but yeah, as in the middle of that process, if you have any requests, or if you like think anything would be extremely useful, let me know, because now's your chance to take some to have like a direct influence on the content there. So I like this really fast and rough scribble enough to give it a try in Procreate and scribble down this idea a little more in detail and see where it lands. I already have the heart here, as you see, prepared in the isometric grid, so I just need to scale that up. Let me quickly set up the drawing guide, isometric one. If you want to know like all my tips about the isometric grid and like how I set up the file here, what recommendations I have for the whole setup, that's all in my ebook. I mean, I can tell you now, of course, but sometimes it's better to have it written down so you can always come back to it and that kind of stuff, and lots more is in my ebook, and you can download it for free, so I don't even have to sell it to you right now. And you can download it here. I hope the command works. Yes, there's the link. You can just click there. There's all the infos. I just ask for sign up to my newsletter, and then you can grab the book. But I'm going to show you one thing. So you probably wonder how I made this beautiful heart line perfectly to the grid here. And that's like one of my favorite tips I can give is actually that you can draw the heart just as a 2D shape. So let's have it like that. Maybe this is really rough at the moment, but I just want to kind of show you the principle. So you see the middle goes down here. So we have the heart like that. It looks a bit weird, but I think it's close enough. And then it can take the heart and go to the transform, go to distort, and when I align this point here to the grid like this, I can pull this down here so it aligns to the isometric grid like that. Now I want to have it flat down, not standing up, of course. And then pull this one here like that. There's the isometric heart. Really nice and useful trick. I'm doing that a lot, and it saves a lot of time and frustration. Yeah, I'm glad you're looking forward to that. Northern my website icon. To be honest, I don't know. It's just that when I set up the website, a very long time ago, I think the website is so I'm updating it here and there, but it's the basic is there since at least 10 years, I think even more. And back then, I wanted to put any kind of icon as the fav icon in the browser, and I had no idea what I should do there. And I put the lemon in there because it was the emoji that, like the first emoji that I found like kind of funny that I saw in my emojis list. So I needed to copy just any kind of emoji in there. And I thought it should be a placeholder, and I would replace it once I had an idea for what to actually put in there, and it stayed the lemon since now. I should maybe make it a purple heart, right? That would be that would make more sense. But yeah, that's the story behind the lemon. Funny how sometimes things that are meant to be placeholders start to be there forever. Interesting. So I'm going to put this one here so you can see what I'm working on. Oh, this is such a ugly bug that it's the reference window is it's always rigged. Where was I there? Yeah, it's still okay. Cool. We do not do this. So let's start with a big part. So we have the main object in there. As I said, I wanted to have this, or I give this a certain thickness. So I'm copying the lower part here. So it's nice and chunky. And I think I want to give it a little border. I just have the idea to make it a little, give it like a fountain style. Maybe it's filled with well, a red liquid, blood, or wine. It could be filled with wine. Yeah, I'm glad you like the random lemon. It's a funny story in the end, because I remember I went to some website, I think Emojipedia or something, and looked for like, I was like, okay, give me any kind of cool icon that has a certain positive vibe. And I think I looked at my last used ones or so, and the lemon was among the last used ones, and maybe I invited people over to have tequila or something. I don't know why, how I had the lemon in there in the first place. So I think I'm going to add some kind of decoration, some ornamental stuff here later. But that's enough for a basic shape for now. And if this is kind of any kind of liquid in there, let's say wine, poisoned wine, then maybe there should be something swimming in there, or anything that gives the viewer a hint that there's actually something liquid. Because I mean, it could be like little waves or so, like this. This always helps a little bit. But I think there should be maybe something more clear. Or even a little fountain. I don't know. What does a fountain look like? Like that or so. I'm not a big fan of that. So maybe not. Räudiger Hund, Mahlzeit. Liebe Grüße. Yes, I have still issues when Procreate, when the iPad is plugged in and I use Procreate. It's really weird. And it's gotten better in my opinion. And in the meantime, I thought they may or might have found a solution, or that it disappeared, but I had that again, I think 2 weeks ago or so. I have it, for example, when I draw a straight line like this, that it tends to it kind of stutters or so I can't really draw a straight line because it stops here, then it starts here again, then it starts here, then it starts here, and it doesn't draw a straight line anymore. That's really annoying. Yeah, it's too bad that it actually came back. I don't know. But 90% of the time I use the iPad, it's plugged in, so, and I wouldn't want to change that because it doesn't make sense to sit here and unload the battery all the time just to reload it again and to unload it again while just sitting here, right? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the characters. This has to go up a little. I'm going to take a reference from, let's start with the poor old Jack. I'm going to copy the image and I'm going to paste it in here just to have the right size, because I obviously want to have the characters in the same size. So I think they are quite large. I should maybe make the border of the heart a bit thicker. The blood heart-shaped blood fountain. Well, let me try first. I can change the thickness later on anyway. So if we have, I'm starting with the hips. So let's say this is kind of the hip line, and then I add the legs here while looking at the size of the version below. Maybe he has legs a little bit spread. I think this is a bit large. Yeah, this is a bit large. So, and I like to see like the legs as two parts of, or too small, like two short sausages. So I'm gonna draw the lower part. anatomy and me is, so please do not take too many anatomy tips from me, because anatomy is one of my weakest disciplines. To be honest, I don't give a shit about anatomy. So I just draw after reference, or just as I see or feel like, so that I don't really pay too much attention to it. I always admired artists who do, but to be honest, for me it doesn't really play such a big role. So this is kind of the way, or my way of constructing these isometric characters, which I think leaves a little bit more room, or is a little bit more lenient on errors, because you can stylize a little bit more. Just need a reference. How do we hold a phone in two hands? Oh, the zooming doesn't work for you. That's okay. I have that from time to time, but most times it works. That's really bad. I mean, that prevents you from having a smooth workflow. So, damn, yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really give you any kind of advice. Did you Google it? Did you take a look at Reddit if someone else had the same problem? That's what I would do, but apart from that, I don't have any clue what you could do to fix that. Did you update and restart your iPad? That's that's the only useful advice I have. Medium useful. I think I'm going to be lazy and copy the head, because it has perfect position. And I'm never afraid of workarounds. Useful ones. Well, workarounds have to be useful, because if they weren't there, they wouldn't be workarounds. Okay, now the head feels a little bit weirdly attached. Yeah, anatomy study is hard. So I went to lots of life drawing classes when as a student, and these are incredibly useful. If not for anatomy, then definitely for learning poses and all that kind of stuff. But I'm I've never been into these kind of reading books about anatomy kind of learning. So this becoming or getting a degree in medicine just to draw people, you know, so that kind of stuff. There's lots of people into this, but this is really my very personal opinion, and everyone should do as they please and what they like. But I feel like there's artists around who focus so much into learning correct anatomy that they kind of miss lots of the other stuff, and then they are perfect in drawing people from the mind, which I think every artist would love to be able to, but they wonder why their art doesn't sell when their portfolio consists of only perfectly drawn fantasy characters or whatever, you know. So this is something I was never really interested in. Yeah, I tried fresco, but just for like, I think I only tried out the scribbles, so I can't give you a precise review. I really loved Affinity, so Affinity definitely surprised me because it felt great. It has incredibly cool functions. So that's something I can recommend as an alternative. Of course, you always like miss these couple of these couple of functions that make your go-to app like in Affinity. I definitely had a couple of things that I didn't really 100% like, but these were quite minor compared to the plus and functions that you get. So it's basically great, like an app that it's at the intersection between maybe Photoshop and Procreate. Yeah, but Fresco I think is definitely comparable to Procreate in terms of how simple it is. So definitely should give it a try sometime. I think I have it on the iPad here, but the only time I used it was to try and see how my brushes work. Yippie, moin. Grüß dich, Jakob. Yeah. It's always good to take breaks when you feel like you're getting like a little hint. If you need to make a deadline or something and the iPad doesn't really work or Procreate doesn't really work, that is not really helpful as well. I feel like the pose is more complicated than I thought, to be honest. Just think a bit weird from this perspective. I think I want to change it a little bit. As a Windows user, yes. I think Affinity would be my go-to app. On the desktop, Clip Studio Paint is also really great. And it's maybe even more prepared for artists. So Clip Studio is really only for making art, which you can see in a couple of things because they kind of include more functions that are suited for drawing and painting. But apart from that, Affinity has the better iPad and I guess also the better Android app. I didn't try it on any Android tablet so far, but I guess, I mean, it just would make sense that they had a great Android app as well. And yeah, I think that would be definitely one of those two would be my choice. I used to use Clip Studio when I worked on the computer before, but yeah, hard to tell which one would be my favorite today, to be honest. So that's the first character. I may do some cleaning up later on, but I think the overall position or the overall pose is nice. Hey, Angry Manga. Nice name. Flip a Clip. No, that doesn't ring a bell. What's that? Is that a drawing app as well? Oh, it's for animation. Is that right? Yeah, maybe it's a great alternative to After Effects, but I can't give any information about that. But if it's for animation, yes. Oh, it's frame by frame animation. Okay, that's something else then. That's more like a Procreate Dreams competitor. Looks cool. Yeah, looks nice. I'll definitely check it out. For frame by frame, I usually use Procreate or Procreate Dreams, but both are definitely not really ideal for frame by frame animation, to be honest. So I think I want to try try adding the rose branches first before I add more characters, because I want to know how much space I have left. The cards are for both the digital and the physical deck. I am dropping these currently as digital collectibles, and that's also answering another question I saw. Northernian's question about that NFT stuff. So yeah, I'm dropping these as digital collectibles at the moment on Drip, and kind of this is the first stage of the project. And then later on, but I think not before next year, I want to also turn these into a full physical deck, of course. But yeah, I'm almost done with the hearts, and I need roughly 4 times the time to finish all the suits, and plus the whole packaging and the jokers and all the stuff. I think definitely not before next year, except I don't have any work. That can happen, of course, as well, as a freelancer, as you know. So you never know if business is that bad that I have like the rest of the year. I will probably finish them earlier. And yeah, the stuff I'm doing on Drip right now is kind of for the first fans and collectors of the project, there will be special physical prints as well. I'm planning on doing some holographic trading card prints with these soon. I'm working on that right now. And so I hope that everyone, like digital and physical lovers, will be satisfied with this. Yeah, Sophia, I'm going to be live again for sure when I'm doing more cards, I guess. Maybe even when I'm coloring this one or so, but yeah, I hope so. I say this every time, so please don't hold me accountable on that too much, but so because streaming, I mean, the viewer count hasn't been really nice over the last months, but I think I should just be more like have a better routine in streaming. I think then more people will come in, but yeah, I definitely want to. I hope I will. Thanks for coming in though, and enjoy the replay later on when you're off work. Also, Goldfinchy, what's that? You can't use the brushes because you need a premium version? That's never heard of that. That's insane. Ridiculous. Yeah, Adobe style. I'm sorry to hear that. So you can't buy a standalone Fresco version. Like, you have to buy Photoshop first. It's crazy. I'm going to add a second isometric grid here, as you see. And I'm going to remove the one in Procreate because I'm doing something... Like, I'm doing some double grid action now. Really crazy special stuff. Sorry. I'm going to add a symmetry grid now. With vertical symmetry. No, that's wrong. Horizontal symmetry. And I'm also going to switch on the rotational symmetry here, which means, I can show you, if you switch it off, it works like, just a second, it works like this, but, which is fine, but I like the rotational better for the cards. I think this is the best way for the cards at all, anyway, which results in this kind of stuff. It's really cool. You can do lots of funny, interesting things with the symmetry function. I have some really old illustrations. Let me see if I can find them. I didn't look at these for a really long time. Let's see. Oh yeah, here. This one, for example, where I used the symmetry function. How old are these actually? 2021? No, they have to be older. I think they are older. I think I just copied the file back then. So here I used the 4-way symmetry. I think. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Or this one here. This one definitely uses a 4-way symmetry. So yeah, it's a cool function. You can play around with it and you can easily get some interesting results. This is the right folder. And what I'm going to do now here, so in the scribble I had these branches here. And I want to symmetrically add this to this. So as you see here, this is you have to play around with the isometric grid a little because this is an organic form and you can't work with clear rectangles and circles. You have to eyeball it a little to get the right angle. Yeah, the first idea was to start here on the side. So I love this kind of symmetry the most when it overlaps the sides of the whole composition. I think this has the most striking effect. But it looks a bit shitty. The little weird thing is that the roundness of the heart here, when I follow that with the branch here, it doesn't match the same position here because the heart isn't in the same symmetry, because it's not like a mirrored object. It's just like just a regular object. Okay, can't buy Fresco standalone. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Well, I think what could help here is making the branch thick enough that it will lead behind the heart. I think this will would break this effect a little bit. Try how it works. Like this. By the way, Jakob, yeah, I'm the only one, yeah. There's not, oh, this was the wrong layer. Error, attention. Classic fuck up potential. Yeah, I mean, there's not much action going on in NFTs, and to be honest, why would there? I mean, the market turned out to be a total shitty place. The community, not the market, where people didn't care about the art at all, but just wanted to make quick money, at least like 95%. But there's still a couple really great people in there, really caring about the art and artists, and it's I think it's still interesting and fascinating to be part of it. And with this project, I went to a platform that is also quite different from what we know from NFT marketplaces. So Drip is really something else. It works with a weekly leaderboard, and you have like weekly drops. There's also free drops involved, something I was very critical about at first. So I saw people doing free drops all the time suddenly, and was like, okay, if you want to give your work again, if you want to give your work away for free, it's not. I think it devalues the art, but the concept on Drip is that you have these free items, free collectibles along limited ones, and who gets the limited ones is decided by a weekly leaderboard. And it's not that there's crazy money involved at the moment, but it's kind of financing a little bit of freedom for me, and it's really just a little bit, but it gives me a little bit of space to work on this, and kind of, in my opinion, funds this project and funds the work on it before I can even like put out the printed decks on Kickstarter, for example, which is really cool. So I'm kind of in a pre-funding phase, and the collectors involved at the moment are kind of early adopters of this project, and yeah, it's cool so far. But the times where you sold a one-of-one for 10k or so is that's basically over for sure. And maybe it's even good that way, because it was overheated. It was, the focus on art was gone. And to be honest, I lost the passion for this space. At least like the passion for it, the way it used to be. Yeah, I mean, if it was a full-time job at the moment, it wouldn't really pay my bills. But the way I see it is, it's kind of an additional little income stream that that kind of adds to other incomes or income streams I have through commissions and through sales of Web 2 items like brushes or prints or whatever. And I think that's the part where it gets quite interesting, because you have sustainable, like you say, like natural growth. It's more sustainable, and you build like connections with collectors that are not only if some kind of millionaires who drop easily drop like big numbers for art, but that can be gone the next week, and you're just without sales from there on. But I think there's like a broad collector base. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far, it's really fun. It's also quite small still, so it feels like a small community right now. Are you working on something exciting right now, Jakob? So any cool projects you can talk about? Anything coming out of this 3D printer that's exciting? Program's called Procreate. Like, can you see it here? No, not really. Yeah, Procreate, quite easy. Hey Cheeky, you're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a good and relaxed time. So yeah, I like the part here with the flowers, like what's that? I don't know. I'm not a botanical expert, but the flowers that are not blooming yet. I think that's a nice twist to, for example, this card here, where I have a rose in full bloom. I want to give it a little bit more of a touch of this one here, where the whole floor is covered with leaves and petals. So I think I'm going to maybe add more in this area here. Oh yeah, sure, I know MTG, sure. It's I think it's so it's very well known in Germany. But I personally, I think I know maybe one or two persons who play it. But yeah, it's a thing here. Yeah, I know they hire artists. I would love to make a card sometime. I even know a couple people who designed for or made illustrations for the cards, and I asked them before how you would like how one would get into this, and even like had a contact. But to be honest, and that's probably quite stupid, but I did not reach out to them. But I should do that at some point for sure, yeah. Yeah, it's I think it's these projects are great for artists, so I think this is like a big thing for any artist to make a magic card. Maybe when I'm finished with this one here, so with the whole deck, I mean, maybe this will get some, we'll get the right eyes on it and attract art directors. Yeah, Finchy, that's a great idea for the course. Definitely. It's not really very special because I just basically have my monitor here, second monitor there, and the camera there, and some light, and the desk where the iPad is on here in front of me. So I don't have any crazy gear, or so I know there's some illustrators who have extremely insane setups, but maybe it's still interesting, sure. Steve, I do have, or let's say I had a critique club on Patreon where I reviewed the work of members of that critique club every month, but the response was not that good. So I didn't have too many members who actually submitted their work. I did have members joining the club, but somehow, I don't know why, but somehow not enough people submitted their work for review. I'm always thinking about how to revive this critique club again. Maybe not on Patreon, but in some other place, or with some other strategy. But yeah, I'm not sure about that yet. But I do love to give like feedback and critique, and so I enjoy that. Oops, I enjoy that very much, and I'd love to do that again. So let's make her sit here. Going to have this as a size reference again. Yeah, definitely will. I will absolutely announce it in the newsletter. This will probably be the first place apart from Procreate from Patreon. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of my own newsletter in terms of that it's a great place where to reach out to people. It's much better than social media where you feel like people are always missing everything you post. I mean, I am missing lots of stuff from my favorite artists, so it obviously happens a lot. Yeah, we'll see. I would love to do some kind of critique session again. The old critique sessions are on my YouTube, by the way, so you can look them up on YouTube. They are called Art Critique Club, usually the videos. So if you look under my videos, if you scroll down a bit, there's some Art Critique Club ones. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, 5 videos. Yeah. No, 6. I mean, if you want to rewatch them, I'm not sure how interesting these are for anyone who is not directly involved. But even though I think that you can always learn from the critique others get as well. So I think that's my kind of my dream concept. There is that kind of club thing, really. There's a reason that I called it club in the first place, is because that's I really love the idea of having a group of people and you submit work constantly, and everyone improves from the critique everyone else gets, and of course from your own critique that you get, obviously. That's really something I would love to build. Maybe I'm just lacking the patience, because it just takes time, obviously, to have like a certain group of people together. Hey, Endorphins, how's it going? Looks kind of big. Or maybe the guy on the right is just small, but... Oh no, she's big. She's a bit too big. That's better. No beer. It's well, it's 4:15, and there's the saying in German that you don't drink before it's 4, but which rhymes in German. As you say, kein Bier vor 4. But it is 4, so I would be allowed in the official rules of Germany to have one. But yeah, it's maybe a bit too early. Still. Yeah, the colder days. Is it going to be that hot on the weekend? I'm always really bad at reading the weather forecast, but 32. Oh, okay, that's quite hot, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Today it's quite fine, right? I haven't been outside apart from visiting the Aldi for some grocery shopping. But I think after the stream I'm going to take a walk and enjoy the mild sun today. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with this layout. I like how non-interested these guys look. The third one would be the king. Guy standing, sitting at the table here. And I think I'm going to have him stand here. I'm going to take a quick break and get something to drink. I'll be right back in a minute. Here we go again. Oh, my hair looks weird. it is this way. Here, Finchi, I have something that looks a slight bit like beer, which is a mate. That's not too far away from beer. Tastes different though. All right. Yes. The guy ending there. Is he tucked in or not? I'm always starting too large. I have to scale down. La Chouffe, yes, I know it. Yeah, it's great. It's Belgian, like the monk beer. There's this dwarf. There's a dwarf on the label, right? Okay, so now I think I'm going to, like I said before, I want to add a couple more leaves here on the ground. I'm not sure yet if I want to have the double side effect here as well. So with that I mean not the double side effect, but the difference in the sides. So like here on the upper side, the rose that is on the lower side, then rotten and old, and it looks a little bit like the also the leaves here are ripped and broken. So I'm not sure about that, just because of the fact that there's no symmetry in the whole composition here, only in the rose branch. That's something I need to decide. Yo, Nero, thanks very much. Glad you like it. The trick with the symmetry here is, and this is where I think for me this function is really gold, is that it saves so much time. I don't need to copy and mirror or anything. It just helps a lot. But when I do the outlines later, I can use this as a reference, and then I do not use the symmetry function anymore. So for this series, I'm using the Norman Bates brush, one from my plastic brush pack that some of you probably know or can't use in Fresco, unfortunately. And I'm not using the symmetry, but I'm drawing over this by hand. And I can add little details, like for example a ribbed leaf like this. See, while I'm drawing the other one on the other side, good looking, and I have the symmetry effect, but it's not. So it's not like, it doesn't seem copied or it doesn't seem duplicated. It looks organic, and that's what I personally really love about this workflow, and I enjoy working like this a lot. But in this stage I don't need to add all the details. I'm going to do that later when I'm working on the outlines. Yeah, this is Procreate. Correct. I should also add some thorns, of course. Almost forgot. A good rose needs some nasty thorns, like that. Of course, we have some overlaps here because the heart isn't aligning to everything perfectly. That's easily to remove like that. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this, I think. I think this could work for the ace. I'm going to mirror the canvas one time to see if there's any imbalances. I could even have it like this. it would work in this mirror version as well. Yeah, I think I want to... Music is weird. Feel like there is... Maybe here? Yeah, I think here is good. Yeah, that works better. I have to pay attention here. That's something I didn't realize is how close this was to the index. Okay, yeah. That looks fine to me. I lost my flip-flop. There it is. Yeah, I use Illustrator. I use Illustrator from time to time, but I do not work with vectors here at all. So it's for these cards, I don't need vectors. It's just all pixel graphics. I could vectorize it later on, but it's just not necessary. I have a resolution of 4K by 5500K roughly, which is by far enough to print this as cards, of course, but also if I want to make art prints, it's also no problem with this kind of resolution. So, yeah. Yeah, I think this is good for outlining. I'm not going to do that now, though, because I want to go outside and take a walk. But, well, let's see. Maybe I can be live very soon and just do the outlines and coloring if you're interested in watching me doing that. Because I think I have to turn to some commission work first anyway, and we'll maybe do the outlines on Friday, maybe on the weekend, we'll see. Haven't decided that yet. But yeah, maybe I'll just go live again and do the rest so you can follow the whole process for the card. Yeah, Nero, I did do some traditional art a while back. Especially at uni. So we had lots of classes at uni where we were encouraged to experiment a lot with traditional techniques. And I loved fine liner and watercolor stuff. So that was something I enjoyed a lot. I loved fine liner sketches, like live drawing, live drawing classes with just a fine liner and some like very limited watercolors, for example. I enjoyed that very much, but I'm not doing that anymore It's a bit of a shame because I really love the workflow, and I even thought about going back to some traditional art with like the world becoming more and more digital, and especially with AI art coming up and stuff like that. So I don't think that AI art is driving me into doing traditional art anymore again, but I had a feeling that it would be cool to reattach myself to the traditional craft again at some point, but I did not so far. I have some great acrylic markers here I wanted to try for years. I bought like a big pack of acrylic markers and they're just lying around. I don't use them. So maybe I will do some experiments with them sometime in the future. But yeah, I tried a lot, like acrylic painting, gouache painting, like large format abstract painting, all that kind of stuff. And some of the classes at uni were great playgrounds for this kind of practice, but in the end, digital is my thing, to be honest. I love the workflow and I love the possibilities, and that you have like literally no restrictions. Yeah, that's something I enjoy a lot. Yeah. So I think I'm going to stop streaming now. Of course, if anyone is fast enough before I stop, feel free to ask questions because I'm not in a hurry or so. I hope you like the more concept and like more scribbling, slow, relaxed vibe stream today. I usually love to have this kind of part of the workflow in my own pace, and that's why I often decided to not stream this part of the process, because it's sometimes you have like this idle run where you're not really making any visible progress, but progress in my brain. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it still, and thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and I'll let you know on my social channels when I'll be live again. Cheers guys, see you soon, bye bye.